In this video, I will explain the use of the PraxiSchool Google Classroom interface that has been added to PraxiSchool. PraxiSchool is a student information system. And the first thing you're going to want to do is go to the home page, the login page for PraxiSchool. Here you can review terms and conditions and privacy policy. Log into PraxiSchool with the credentials provided to you by your school. Once you are in PraxiSchool, as a teacher, you're going to go to the Teachers menu and you're going to select Google Classroom. Once you do that, you are then going to select your Google account. If you have more than one, select the correct one, but select your Google account that you're going to be using to use Google Classroom. Then you're going to come to the authorization and consent page where PraxiSchool is letting you know which security features it is going to need in order to create and make this interface work for you. We are going to be using the classroom topic security feature in order to create, edit, and save topics into the Google Classroom. Then we're going to be using the courses and the coursework in order to create courses in Google Classroom or to link Praxi courses to the Google Classroom course. And then to invite students into, we're going to use the roster security feature to manage, to create or link rosters to students enrolled into the class in the PraxiSchool system. Praxi will send an invitation to your students to join the class if you need it to do that. And then we will be creating assignments, reading and assignments, and also downloading grades. So we'll be using the coursework security feature. So you're going to review all of these security features. And I would point out at the top is the link that brought us here, and you will find the client ID inside that URL in the link at the top. Once you have made that agreement, then you will simply click on Allow at the bottom, and that will link you to your Google Classes. Now, when I come in, I'm going to see my Google Classes that have been set up on the right side, and I'm going to see my Praxi classes that are set up on the left side. If I see the link icon, that means that class has already been linked to a class inside Google Classroom. If there's a red X, it is either not created in Google Classroom or it has not been linked to a class in Google Classroom. And you can either link classes to an existing Google Classroom class, or you can create the Google Classroom class from Praxi. If necessary, you can invite other teachers in your school. It'll send an invitation for them to join your Google Classroom. You will see here any invites, and here you'll see any other teachers that you have for that once you select your Google class at the top. In students, we are going to first select the class that we're talking about, and then we can select students that have not been invited, and under the utilities menu, invite those selected students. If a student is in the classroom and already here, say you created him manually in the classroom, in Google Classroom, you can link him to a student inside of Praxi. Then under assignments and grades, you can use your you select your class at the top. It will select your Google Classroom for that class. You can select the component, and you can see your assignments for each of the components for Praxi in the bottom grid for that component. You can select those components, and then under the utilities menu, create those assignments in Google Classroom. Also, you can select an assignment on the Google Classroom side, and then you can transfer the grades from Google Classroom to Praxi. It's just important that when you do that, you select which component so that Praxi knows if that assignment needs to go into classwork or into test, so you can download your grades. If an assignment has been created in Google Classroom, you can actually create that assignment into Praxi by selecting the component and then selecting the download link. Under the Help tab, the one thing that you want to take time to review is the diagram that shows that classes can go from Praxi to Google Classroom, or they can be linked from Google Classroom to Praxi. The same thing with rosters. Teachers can be invited to Google Classroom from Praxi, and then as far as assignments, you can go from Praxi to create them in Google Classroom. If they were created in Google Classroom, you can link them to existing assignments in Praxi, or if they weren't created in Praxi yet, you can actually download them and create the assignments in Praxi, and then you can download grades once the assignment is linked up properly in PraxiSchool, and it will download the links. You will see here some help outline steps for the procedure that I've just gone over under each section for the Google Classroom. Then under special issues, you can find here the link to get to your My Account Google security account. And in fact, if I click on that link, you can do this once you have authorized the access. This is how you can verify. Come down here to third party. When you get to that page, scroll down to third party apps, and then you will find here PraxiSchool. This is how you could remove the access, but this also verifies that you have given access for your account in PraxiSchool to use this Google Classroom.